Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and the Red Mist descended in the FA Cup this weekend. 3 big red cards, but which one was never a red? Well, we're going to start off with Anthony Gordon. Get your comments in. Also want to say on the Cunha one, I saw on Ref Watch this morning they were talking about whether he should get a bigger ban than a 3-match ban. I think that's incredibly ridiculous. I really do. I do wonder what we're actually doing to football. Like, it is a contact sport. There are tempers. There are frustrations. We are not robots. Players in the heat of moments do things they regret later. You're never going to solve that. We don't want to solve that, but we'll talk about that one in a minute. Let's talk about Anthony Gordon. A lot of people are saying that Newcastle should appeal it. Obviously, he's going to miss the Carabao Cup final. Some people are saying it's never a red. I'm conflicted on this. I am really conflicted on this. When I saw the angle from afar yesterday, I actually tweeted and said, I don't think there's a red card for that. Then I saw the close-up, and as he's running past, the Brighton defender's got hold of his shirt. He's obviously frustrated and he's pushed out at the Brighton defender and actually caught him in the ear as he's pushed out. So you look at it and you go, they're going to give a red card for that. They are going to give a red card for it. But then the more you watch it, and I would urge people to do it, the more you watch it, I go, I can sort of see where an appeal's coming from. I don't think they'll win the appeal, but I've seen numerous times. Look, I saw a tweet today about Van Dijk barging into people's shoulder. I think he did it to Anthony Gordon, didn't he? Didn't he sort of lean into Anthony Gordon and his head with his shoulder, and it wasn't given as anything. So look, let's not pretend it's an assault, and let's not pretend that we don't see shoulder barges and stuff that are never given as a red. I think where Anthony Gordon's going to struggle with this is that the FA are desperate to be seen to be competent, and these sort of things are just not going to get turned over. I wish it was. I think you want to see Anthony Gordon playing for Newcastle in that game as the underdog, and it's such a shame that he's going to miss out. But he's going to have to take the responsibility for that, of course. But I'm going to say here, I am conflicted on that one. I can see why the red card was given, and in the slow-mo and the shove and everything, I can see it. But then you look at it and you sort of go, it's not a deliberate attempt to like punch him or hit him in the head. He's actually trying to shove him off in frustration because his shirt's being pulled. I think that's the thing that I would say, look, what do we want in football? Do we want robots or do we want passion and emotion? And Anthony Gordon, well, he shouldn't react like that, but he's shoving him off. And he happens to shove him on the side of the face. So I can see why the red card's given, but I certainly don't think it's like horrific. I actually think if it had not been a red, people would have gone, it could have been a red, but the fact that it has been given, I think it's a shame, but don't come at me saying it's a stonewall red card, because I've seen countless times where red cards aren't given for people barging into people on purpose, and I'm sure somebody could do a compilation where a player deliberately uses their shoulder and leans into the side of somebody's head, and it's never a red card and it's never a yellow card. So look, I think he's a bit unlucky, but I think because the hands are raised and he catches him on the side of the face, I think it's going to be held up, and I don't think you can argue with it. But I don't think it's as straightforward, and I can understand why there might be some thought of an appeal from Newcastle, but I don't think it'll be successful. The Mateta one, I mean, just before we talk about the Cunha one, because you're going to be replying to 3 of these, the Mateta one, I'm just glad he's okay. I mean, I'm just glad he's going to be okay and play the game, because I'm old enough to remember, I think it was the 84 Euros, was it Schumacher, the German goalkeeper? I always forget the French player's name. I mean, it's one of the worst goalkeeping. It was an assault. It was disgusting, and and it brought back echoes of that. Look, the thing that stands to me is that I don't understand, and I didn't know it was Michael Oliver until afterwards. I don't understand how the referee didn't give that as a straight red card. And then when you see the image of the referee looking straight at it as the goalkeeper comes out, I know we have the advantage of slow-mo, but how slow do you need to be to not see a goalkeeper running out with his foot in the air like that? It should have been a straight red card. Look, again, the goalkeeper's very lucky that that's not going to be like career-threatening for Mateta. Thank God. But again, I'm sure that goalkeeper will feel very, very bad about it over the weekend. And I just want to say again, as we move on to Cunha, these are professional footballers, yes. They are paid good money. They are living the dream, but they are also human beings playing a very competitive game with thousands of people watching, and emotions run high. And it's all well and good saying, he shouldn't do that, he shouldn't do that. And of course he shouldn't do that. And of course Anthony Gordon shouldn't do that. And Cunha shouldn't do that. But we also have to remember that we want, as fans, players to show passion. We want them to care. And the punishments are there for things like this, and quite rightly so. But I think when we start judging the people afterwards, and we need to remove this from the game. I mean, we need to educate, but we're never going to remove moments of madness in a game of football. And I don't think we should look to do that, because I think it completely and utterly, it's like Arne Slot's handshake of Michael Oliver, or Tuchel and Conte's handshake. Passion is a very important part of football, and we're never going to remove it. And I think some people, they come at these incidents and they go, disgusting, that shouldn't happen. And it's like, there has to be some sort of understanding of what it is we're actually asking these people to do and what we demand of them. And there will be times when the red mist comes down. And I think when you look at Cunha's red card, it's a 3-match ban. It's stupid. It could cause Wolves problem. He is the best player. But extending that ban to what? For what? Why are you extending the ban? The headbutt was just... I don't understand why players do this. I don't understand why they do it in the first place. It's not a headbutt. It's head to head, and he pushes forward a little bit. That is not a headbutt. He shouldn't do it. He should get a red card. But the punishment should be 3 matches. I actually think the worst thing that he does is when he's throwing his arms around and sort of catches the player. I think that's the worst bit of it. But I think a 3-match ban is more than sufficient. Kids are playing football at 4 years of age, 6 years of age, 9 years of age. They're watching telly, but they're playing themselves as well. Seb was playing a game yesterday at under 8s. There was some right tackles flying in. It's just, who are you increasing the ban for? Violent conduct. It's not violent conduct. It's just a player losing his temper, and he gets a 3-match ban. And I think that's perfectly sufficient. I don't think anything more than that, really. So, look, a crazy weekend. As I said to Robbie on his show, I don't know who the drink sponsor was for the FA Cup this weekend, but it looks like some of these players were downing it at half time. I mean, some of the behaviours were just odd. But look, the passion of the FA Cup, I suppose. But I think each one of them has talking points, but I don't think you can argue with all 3 reds. But I think the Anthony Gordon one's the shame, because I think it's the most borderline one, and I wish it hadn't been given. But it's not going to get overturned, is it? It's not going to get overturned. Would I have given a red card for that? I think the fact that I've hesitated probably suggests that I suppose you'd be guided by VAR, wouldn't you? But I don't know. I don't know whether I'd give a red card for that. I don't think it should be a red card, really. I don't really. I think it's just... I don't like players being sent off anyway. I think it ruins the game, but... Yeah, look, I'm not going to sit here and say it's a shocking decision to send him off. I just think it's... I think the context of the Carabao Cup final makes it bigger as well. If it wasn't going to miss the Carabao Cup final, I think you'd deal with it. But I think it's such a shame to miss out on what is going to be a big game just for that. But look, that's what happens when you raise your hands, isn't it? Get your comments in. Don't forget, a big week on That's Football this week. The Champions League watch-alongs are here for the next couple of nights, and we're excited for that. Get your comments in, smash a like on the video, and I'll speak to you on the next one.